Welcome back to the Titan-DiMera channel. Grab your favorite mug and get comfortable, because the week of June 15th to the 19th is packed with legacy drama, explosive secrets, and some serious backstabbing that will leave you completely speechless. Let's kick things off with the absolute circus happening over at the DiMera mansion. You guys know I am always going to passionately defend the DiMera legacy, especially when it comes to my boy Chad, but right now the mansion is a toxic wasteland thanks to Kristen DiMera and Xander Cook. Gwen is currently being played for an absolute fool. Leo Stark, who is surprisingly acting like a decent friend for once, is pushing Gwen to keep a much closer eye on Xander and Kristen because their whole dynamic is screaming red flags. Kristen and Xander created this elaborate cover story about working on a joint venture between Titan and DiMera Enterprises to hide their steamy hookups. But here's the kicker. EJ DiMera is about to blow that lie right out of the water. EJ is going to sit Gwen down and explicitly tell her that absolutely no business is happening between Titan and DiMera. He is going to expose the fact that Xander and Kristen have been lying to her face. I honestly feel a little bad for Gwen, even though she has done some horrific things in the past. Her desperate need for love always makes her an easy target for gaslighting, and Kristen is a master manipulator. But let's be real for a second. EJ is confronting Kristen about sleeping with the enemy, but he is completely missing the massive deadly plot right under his nose. EJ actually thinks Kristen and Xander are just having a sordid little affair to get under his skin. He has absolutely no idea that Kristen is actively trying to hire Xander to assassinate him. Can you believe it? EJ is usually 10 steps ahead, but his blind spot when it comes to Kristen's sheer lunacy is going to get him killed. And that's not even the worst of it. EJ still doesn't know that Kristen was the mastermind who manipulated a mentally fragile Sophia Choi into trying to burn Johnny DiMera alive in that apartment fire. If EJ finds out that Kristen targeted his son, there won't be a safe place on this earth for her to hide. A lot of fans think EJ is going soft, but I'm telling you, the second he discovers Kristen's lethal agenda, we are going to see the ruthless, old-school Stefano DiMera energy return to EJ with an absolute vengeance, and you won't believe what happens next with Leo Stark. Since Gwen is still stubbornly refusing to accept Leo's hugs or his apologies, Leo decides to take matters into his own hands. He is going to put on his amateur detective hat and start tailing Kristen and Xander around Salem. This is a massive plot twist for Leo. Historically, spanning back to his early days of blackmailing Sonny Kyriakis, Leo only ever looks out for number one. But his trauma-bonded friendship with Gwen is pushing him to actually protect someone else. If Leo manages to uncover the assassination plot against EJ, he is going to hold the ultimate trump card. What do you guys think? Will Leo use this information to save EJ, or will he try to blackmail Kristen for a massive payday? Knowing Leo, he's gonna try to play both sides and end up in a world of trouble. Speaking of trouble, we have a massive blast from the past returning to Salem. Dimitri von Leuschner DiMera is heading back to town. Megan Hathaway's diabolical son is ready to cause some serious chaos, and he is setting his sights directly on Rafe, Gwen, and Leo. Dimitri only agreed to that divorce settlement because he thought he was getting a romantic happily ever after with Leo. Now that Leo has moved on and completely shattered those dreams, Dimitri is out for blood. We are going to see a highly tense, explosive meeting between Dimitri, Rafe, Gwen, and Leo. I think this is going to be one of the best showdowns of the summer. Dimitri carries that dark, calculated legacy of the von Leuschner bloodline, and he is not going to leave Salem until he gets his revenge. Meanwhile, let's pivot over to Brady Black and Sarah Horton. Brady is officially putting his Black Patch private investigator skills to work, channeling his inner John Black to help Sarah solve a devastating medical mystery. Sarah is completely haunted by the death of her patient Destiny and the fatal overdose of Destiny's sister Clea. Brady is tracking down Liam Selejko, who was listed as the emergency contact for Clea. I absolutely love seeing Brady in this investigative role. For the last 5 to 10 years, Brady has been entirely consumed by toxic relationships with women like Kristen and Teresa. Seeing him focus on a legitimate mystery, helping a damsel in distress without immediately jumping into bed with her, is a refreshing throwback to the golden era of Black Patch. But Liam's return to Salem is going to trigger a massive emotional explosion for the Hernandez family. Ariana Horton is finally going to corner Liam. She has been agonizing over why he ghosted her, and she is going to firmly demand answers. And oh boy, does she get them. Liam is going to confess that Gabi Hernandez paid him a massive bribe to pack his bags and leave town. I absolutely hate how Gabi treats the people she claims to love. I think this was a huge mistake because Gabi never learns that you cannot buy your daughter's happiness or control her life with DiMera money. Can you imagine how Will Horton would react if he were alive to see Gabi pulling these stunts? Ariana is going to be absolutely furious. This betrayal is going to shatter their mother-daughter relationship, and honestly, Gabi deserves every bit of the backlash. She has been pulling these manipulative stunts for over a decade, and it is finally catching up to her. Over at the DiMera mansion, we are about to witness a truly heartbreaking psychological crisis. Brady and Kristen are going to sit Rachel down and deliver the horrific news that her former Bayview friend Sophia has supposedly committed suicide. Rachel is going to absolutely flip out. This poor girl has been raised in a toxic environment, heavily influenced by Kristen's unhinged behavior, and she already fears that she is a bad seed. Hearing that the doctors at Bayview couldn't save Sophia is going to send Rachel into a severe panic attack. She is going to be terrified that she is broken beyond repair and that no psychiatric help will ever fix her. This is such a deep, emotional storyline. It really echoes the tragic history of Isabella Toscano and the generational trauma of the Black and DiMera families. And we cannot ignore the incredibly dangerous game Kat Greene is playing. Kat is continuing to play EJ like a fiddle, completely ignoring Rafe Hernandez's strict orders to stand down. Rafe knows that messing with EJ is playing with fire, but Kat is addicted to the thrill of the undercover ISA mission. She is feeding EJ lies, and EJ is falling for it hook, line, and sinker. I am praying that my boy Chad DiMera steps up and exposes Kat. Chad has already been deeply traumatized by Kat pretending to be his dead wife, Abigail. If Chad catches Kat snooping around EJ's lab, he needs to blow the whistle and protect his brother. I know EJ and Chad have their fierce sibling rivalries, but at the end of the day, DiMeras protect DiMeras. Finally, let's talk about the heartbreaking situation with Lexi Carver and Dr. Wilhelm Rolf. Rolf is frantically checking and evaluating Lexi, desperately searching for answers about her worsening symptoms. We all know the Versavix serum is failing, just like it did with the lab rat. This slow burn storyline is bringing back all the devastating memories of 2012 when Lexi died from a brain tumor caused by the toxic gases in the DiMera tunnels. Abe Carver has already lost the love of his life once. Watching him potentially lose her again because of EJ's arrogant, mad science is just gut-wrenching. And think about Theo. Theo's autism makes stability so important, and losing his mother a second time will utterly destroy him. Rolf is trying to stop the symptoms from progressing, but we know his experimental science always comes with a lethal price. Will Lexi survive, or is she destined to return to the grave? Let me know your theories in the comments below.